welcome to some little tips on Crossout. Now these tips are probably going to help you survive quite a few matches. If not, just keep you out of harm's way. Now the first thing to do if you're at a low level like I am, whoa, don't camp. Not a good idea. If someone's got the cannon, you're going to be taken out quite quickly. And you see that was quite a big chunk of armor taken away from me, but I still got my weapons intact. I was lucky. I could have lost my front weapon, my main weapon, and my scope. Now the scope is really handy here for taking out enemies' weapons at a distance. So here I'm playing the waiting game. As you can see, maneuverable problems. This is because my vehicle is not the best at maneuvering. And I'm going to come back. Hopefully the guy camping on the hill there is gone, and he has. He's probably thinking I've been either taken out or just run away like a coward. Like a camping coward. Now here I'm trying to shoot this guy, his weapons and everything, but I can't really see him that well, so I'm going to switch in a second and see if there's anyone else trying to make a brave race to our, there we go, he's taken out, to our main base. So we're on the defensive here because these guys have been attacking every game, and here he's firing and he's out of distance. I don't know why he's trying to shoot me. He's not even hitting me, and I'm just taking out his main weapons. As soon as his main weapons are out, he's basically useless. So all he can do is capture the base and hope that he doesn't get taken out. And he's pretty well armored. That's good design, that vehicle. Boxed, low profile. Low profile vehicles do better in this game. Mine's a mishmash of everything. I just haven't got my vehicle building to any sort of high level skill yet, and I don't have the parts. And that means maneuvering is bloody awkward, as you can see. So make your vehicle, well designed, sleek and aerodynamic, and at least a bit boxy, and you won't have the problems turning over a hill like I am. So that's a good tip for you guys. Now I'm just going to back off and do the stupid thing, which is let two people know that I'm actually there. There we go. They see me, and I'm as good as dead because it's 2v1, and I'm slow as hell now. One of the best things you can do when taking the enemy base is to watch the bluffs and high points, because they will try and snipe you there with the heavy guns, and they can do some damage. But if it's just a guy with machine guns, he has to come and attack. He can't just stay there and fire away, because time will run out and you'll win. Also, when you're actually in the middle of a battle, it's good fun, but keep an eye on your base being captured. These guys are just wasting our time. We should just ignore them. One of them's an AI, and there's just one guy who decides to go solo and get taken out. Shoot off his weapons, his heaviest ones first. But of course, you have to be careful that your base doesn't get taken while you're enjoying yourself killing the enemy. Because this horrifying situation up here is me trying to go to the rescue, knowing that I'm basically screwed because I don't have enough time. And there's 3 enemy. I would have lost. I've been taken out in seconds. So watch out for that. Now here, there's more of us than there is of the enemy, but they are coming back really fast. So I'm really going to town here, taking out the vehicles, ignoring the wheels, ignoring the armor. It's the vehicle's weapons, main weapons, I'm worried about. You can even lay off firing at that guy because he's no threat now, so you can just back off and spend your time taking out the other vehicle's weapons, because every vehicle that pops in here with weapons is a risk, so you have to take them out. Do it really quickly as you can, because he's probably thinking the same thing. I'm going to take his weapons out, but I've been very lucky. It's not often that I survive with all my weapons intact when taking the base like this, but most people just shoot with a vehicle. But I've noticed not a lot really go for the weapons, but there are those smart ones that do go for the weapons. They're the ones you want to worry about. The heavy cannons are the biggest risk. They'll just take you out, I mean, boom, and he's gone. So he's definitely a risk. And I'm getting worried now because this guy, he's just demolishing us. There you go, I'm done. When building my vehicle, I knew I didn't have enough parts to build kind of a nice low profile, kind of square tank vehicle. I'll unlock those parts at a later date, so it's just basically grinding to get those really good vehicle parts. And when I get those parts, I'll be able to build a better vehicle. At the moment, it's a hell of a mess. One thing I do recommend is those fuel barrels are totally covered, which I have. I've actually encased them in the vehicle itself, so you can't see them, they're not visible, and they're protected against fire, otherwise you'll just blow up. I mean, that not bothered me in the past when I was first playing, because it was early days, and I just put the fuel barrels wherever. They were shot off and everything. They didn't always explode, you know. Things do get shot off. They don't just blow up and blow your vehicle up. It doesn't really happen that often, if at all. It's not happened to me, except when I've had like 4 of them stacked to the back of me and they've shot at them and I've blown up. But you'll find, you know, as you go along and you play the game, you'll find out what works for you. You know, I do find that putting loads and loads of armor bits or vehicle parts on your vehicle will help you live a lot longer. But maneuverability can be a bit of a problem, especially if it's your vehicle starts getting a bit wide, you know. You really need a better frame, definitely better tyres. And, you know, although my vehicle's kind of underpowered, the scope helps take out enemies from a long distance. But again, the guys with the cannons will rip you to shreds, and there, 2 hits from behind. This guy was very sneaky, very clever, flanked me, and yeah, he's just turning you a-hole. My main consideration this time is to take out the cannon, and I take it out. So I'm quite happy with that. Although I died a stupid death, I took out his main weapon. So he's almost useless, this guy. He's got a little machine gun, and that's all he's got left. So yeah, it does your team well to do that sort of thing. Again, when I was creating my vehicle, I was using the mapping system here, and you can just see where all the parts go, so you can just think what will fit better in vehicle design. Now, vehicle design is kind of a new thing for me as well, but I'm getting the hang of it, and the main tips is just to carry on grinding and get those really cool parts, get new bumpers. I mean, there's a new vehicle starter pack on PS4 and PSN of course store, and that's not too bad. It's got some of the buggy parts. Now, it's an underpowered vehicle, but it's really super fast, and speed and about 3 or 4 machine guns, you'd be pretty deadly. You could just outrun a slower enemy who's heavily armoured, and you probably survive that encounter. But so far I've not managed to survive too long in the buggy. I managed to outrun people, but they've always managed to shoot my weapons off before I can do anything really of use. So all I can do is just sprint round, capture base quickly, and just outrun the enemy if I can. So the lighter weight buggy frames are pretty good, but again, it's armament. You really need really good armament. But I like to go for the slower, heavy armed vehicle. But again, I don't have that many parts. It's difficult for me to build a really fancy vehicle. I hope to be building that soon, and I'll upload a video of me building something a lot more exotic. Well, hopefully. Of course, when you're grinding and earning those resources, you're best putting them towards something useful, decent weapons in the game. You know, there's the chameleon, which makes your vehicle invisible. It's actually quite handy, but again, you need a really big rig, a really decent power vehicle, so you can have decent armament. Because when you add these special exotic add-ons, it takes a lot of energy, and if you're using all these fancy gadgets, you're not going to be well armoured, or you won't be able to protect yourself when you decloak. Or say if you're firing a long range weapon, you don't have enough of the short machine guns, then you're going to be taken out really quick, because the you know, the long range weapons are really powerful and good and all, but at close range, you know, you're at a disadvantage unless you get a lucky shot off. Of course, you can destroy a vehicle in a couple of hits with at close range with these big cannons, but it's not something I'd recommend really. I'd use them at medium to long range really. Let the rest of your team move forward and take the flag and do the objectives, etc. I mean, here I'm just thinking of something I can do to make this vehicle more badass and more well armoured, but it's very difficult with the limited parts I have. So grind. Save, get all the decent weapons and parts that you need. Generators are definitely recommended highly, you know, to get a couple extra power points. But I'm trying to save up enough scraps now to buy a better mainframe, which will save me buying a generator or something like that, you know. Because I do want to add more exotic parts like the scope and the vector, and I've also got a remote turret. I also want to buy one of those buddies, which like a little mini vehicle that comes, well, goes beside you, fights alongside you. But that gets taken out really quick, I've noticed. Probably the best thing is the flying air drone, which has kind of been nerfed to a degree, but is still a handy thing to have, and it's a bit of a distraction for other vehicles, or we can take out the unwary player with a few short hits, you know. So that's something I want to add on to my arsenal. Get that air drone or the buddy. So yeah, definitely save up your scraps, play all the weapons, and just try them out for yourselves as well, because you'll find that some weapons are better than others. But again, it's all about building that big rig, saving up your resources. Buy a better mainframe, I'd recommend. Definitely. Then you can get the exotic armaments and you'll be able to play against better players and better vehicles. And you'll have a hell of a lot more fun, I think, with this game. Myself, I'm enjoying it. It's a nice time waster. Still not bored with the game, unlike other games I've played. It's a pretty good free-to-play title. Anyway, I hope these little tips and my failures have helped you in this video. Leave a like, comment and subscribe if you can, and I'll be back hopefully with a more informative video. And these videos, I know the advice might not be totally brilliant for you guys, but I'm just teaching you these little things as I've played it, as I've carried on playing this game. I've picked up little things myself, and you do that when you're playing a game like this. Anyway, I'll chat to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.